Hi everyone, my name is Tracy Williamson and welcome to the MLTI 2.0 series, Recipes for Project-Based Learning. Project-based learning is like running a restaurant, where your students are the business managers, architects, menu planners, waitstaff, and chefs, all working together as a team to deliver a delicious meal to customers in the end. In this series, we're talking about just a few of the many ways to bring project-based learning into your classroom, along with some educational technology tools you and your students can use to enhance the experience. This week's episode of Recipes for Project-Based Learning is all about student news teams.
At the most simplified definition, it's a way of teaching and learning that gives students a context for developing a deep understanding and developing the kinds of skills that they need to go on with whatever they want to go on with in life. It prepares them for the future that they want to create. And there's not one right model, not one right way to do it. But the different examples that we're seeing, some schools will decide, we're going to teach everything through project-based learning. All subjects, all the time, students are engaged in PBL, and these tend to be interdisciplinary projects with teachers having time to collaborate, design projects together. We also see many, many more schools that are setting the stage for project experiences sometimes for students. So there may be some traditional teaching interspersed with a very rich project. And that project might take a couple of weeks, it might take a couple of months. The Buck Institute attempted to define a gold standard for project-based learning. What would that mean if you were aspiring to the best design of a PBL experience, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, a full semester? What's essential to make that happen? And one of those myths is that projects are going to be sort of fluffy. It's not serious enough. It's not rigorous enough. We hear the rigor word quite a lot. But we know from research that when PBL is done well, students have a deeper understanding and are able to apply what they've learned. And what's kind of the beauty of PBL is that there are tandem tracks that students are learning really deep, important knowledge, content, we might call academic content. At the same time, they're developing those success skills, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, being able to put your ideas forward. Those are right at the heart of the project as goals. And what's emerged is a framework for designing a project that kind of opens up like a camera lens. So if you imagine right in the focal point of that lens, right at the heart, is the kind of deep understanding, the goals for deep understanding and success skills. So right at the heart of the project always is what's worth learning in this project. There are some components that really set the stage for deep, rich learning experiences. And what we find works well in project-based learning is to think of some bookends. So it starts with some sort of engaging question or challenge that sets the stage for inquiry. So right off the bat, students are asking questions that matter to them. And then what happens next, kind of in the messy middle part of the project, is some, research, investigations, which can take shape in, all kinds of different ways, so that eventually students develop some deep understanding. And then they do something with that new knowledge. They apply it in some way, or they make a presentation to educate others about what they've learned. So in some way, they take their new understanding and they apply it and they share it with a real audience, an authentic audience. Having an authentic audience for students' work, we've realized over decades now, is that that's one of the key pieces for really raising the game in terms of the quality of student work. Where the magic of learning happens is when students don't just, take a test to find out if they learned something, but their learning is constantly evolving as they get feedback, as they get formative assessment, and then make another draft or another prototype or another iteration. Tech can change the game for project-based learning when you have access to technology tools that can take things in a different direction. Opportunities to connect or collaborate or communicate or create something using digital tools. That can really kind of turbo boost what happens in PBL. But I think there's a word of caution in that it's not about the tech first. It's really important to focus on your learning goals first. What are you trying to accomplish in this project? And then which technologies do you have available and are going to be worth integrating to take it to another level? So what's the teacher doing? What's the teacher's role? Are they coaching? Are they mentoring? Are they setting up teaching and learning activities? As a kind of a driving question for teachers to consider, I think it's worth coming back to, how do I know this is going to be the most meaningful, best use of our time as a community of learners? It may sound complex. It may sound like, oh, there are all these elements I need to think about as a teacher. A lot of this is new to me. But I think it can be simplified into thinking about, how do I set the stage for a rich inquiry experience where students want to take hold of learning because they care about answering an interesting question that matters to them. Even just looking at what comes out of projects, looking at some of the artifacts, what do students produce, or if you ever have the opportunity to watch students present their work, boy, they really own this information. They know it, they get deeply into it, and they're able to do something with it.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for taking time to check out GNN Season 6. I'm Sarah Jeskowitz.
And I'm Anna Nault.
Student news teams are a great way for students to work together on real-world issues and get involved in the community. News teams offer many opportunities for connections to all the content areas, too. Students can research current events, talk about the geography of their town. They can put together statistics, analyze project impact, research the weather and what goes into being a meteorologist. Students can write scripts and work on their speaking and presentation skills, and they can create artwork or video and music editing if you're working with video news. News team projects also support students in becoming clear and effective communicators, responsible and involved citizens, and integrative and informed thinkers. At the bottom of this video, you'll find links to 2 resource guides, one for digital print news team projects, and another for video broadcast news team projects. Regardless of which path you and your students decide to take, it's important for students to first understand the impact of news media and how powerful their jobs will be. PBS NewsHour has a wonderful collection of lessons on all sorts of topics having to do with news, including what is newsworthy, what makes a good video reports, journalism ethics, and more. Common Sense Education also has a collection of news-related lessons, including finding credible news, lessons on hoaxes and fakes, and also lessons on fair use and copyright. You can also find a video series on news and media literacy on the MLTI YouTube channel. MLTI ambassadors Kate Meyer and Jonathan Warner put these videos together as part of their series on digital citizenship and news and media literacy. Project-based learning is student-driven and teacher-facilitated, so it's time to pass the baton. With a solid understanding of the impacts of news media, you should be ready to pass the lead on to your students. A print or digital print news product will have a slightly different framework than a video production with different roles and responsibilities. In either scenario, you'll want to look at examples of work done so that students get a clear idea of what they want to produce. Edpuzzle is a great resource for finding video news examples and gathering feedback from students. You can search Edpuzzle's already curated collection of videos, or you can find your own examples of newscast videos from local schools and bring them into Edpuzzle to then add your own questions for your students. Not only does Edpuzzle allow you to monitor student progress as they watch videos, it also allows every student a voice, including those that may not feel comfortable speaking in front of a group. Be sure to include a wide variety of examples so that students have opportunity to see different styles and output from basic to very high quality so that they can see that the end product doesn't have to look professionally made to be impactful, but at the same time, product quality does make a difference.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Nokomis Warrior Broadcasting News. Hi Nancy, what are we doing in AP Chem today?
Once you and your students have a list of features and segments that you want to include in your newspaper or video, you can determine roles. This step in the design process of project-based learning is a vital one. You want each individual student to feel like they are an integral part of the project and have valuable input in decisions made. Collaborative Google Docs and Sheets are great for brainstorming roles and writing descriptors so the roles are clear. In the end, you want each student to have a role that they want to embrace for the project. It can be fun and very meaningful to connect to real-world scenarios by having students run mock interviews for positions on the team or create contracts aligned with your school code of conduct. At this point, you've laid down all the groundwork. Your students have their goals and their roles and responsibilities that they are excited about, and they are super excited to get started. Now it's time to find the best digital tools, apps, and equipment to use for your digital print layout or video recording and editing. For a print newspaper, Google Slides can be a great way for students to collaborate as they compile articles and images. In the end, it can be exported as a PDF, which is very easy to share out or print. There are many templates available, like this one here, created by the news team at Wyndham Middle School. If Google isn't available, a Word document program like Pages or Microsoft Word can work too, especially if students can save to the cloud where they can all access and collaborate. Canva has a huge selection of templates, and Flipsnack or Book Creator can give an animated page-turning effect to your digital print news. A video production is a little more involved. Students need to research the equipment available through the school. A DSLR camera will capture the highest quality video, but an iPhone or iPad will work great too. A tripod for the camera is important for steady and consistent framing. Lighting's also important. Sometimes the light in a room will be sufficient, but if students want to avoid shadows or newscasters looking washed out, additional lamps or spotlights will be very helpful. Finally, students will need to use the video and audio recording apps that work best for the devices they have. For iPads, iMovie and GarageBand are going to be the best option. But if they're working with Chromebooks or Windows-based devices, WeVideo and Soundtrap are going to be ideal. Plus, both apps are collaborative, just like Google Docs, so the students can all be in the same video and audio projects working together. MacBooks can go either way. Soundtrap and WeVideo do have costs associated, but they also have free versions that can work with some limitations. There are many other video and sound editing apps available, but you want to be sure that you're using something that has been vetted for educational use and is COPPA compliant for your students' privacy and safety online. The final step of any project-based learning presentation is to make it aesthetically appealing to the community. In the final video of this series, we'll be talking more about some ways to put together an impactful presentation enhanced with music, visual, and other art media. For digital print news, adding colors, graphics, and using the principles of design for fine-tuning the layout and font choices will be very important to the final product. And for video news episodes, smooth transitions, music that supports the content, and of course, a news theme song are going to engage viewers. The students taking on these creative roles will have a great time adding all of these final touches that amplify the project and take it to the next level. Ongoing throughout the duration of a news team project, you'll be able to tie in and assess content area standards while students learn more about the careers that align with the roles they've taken on. With multiple teachers on board from a variety of content areas, the team can really dig into those standards and achieve an even deeper level of learning while fostering student curiosity and wonder to increase their engagement. Once your students have the hang of it, the project will run itself, with students making incredible connections and really taking ownership of their learning and being proud and excited to become mentors and teaching future members of the team. At Village Elementary School in Gorham, the news team had the opportunity to interview the first female governor, community business owners, and the engineering department at the University of Southern Maine. With their model of blended learning and focus on collaborative technology tools, the news team continued to work through the COVID pandemic remote period and even made new connections with reporters from the Portland Press-Herald during that time. Darylyn McCall, the teacher facilitator for the Village Times at the time, said that her incredible experience with project-based learning has shown that it engages students and highlights their strengths so that they want to learn and share their learning more. It builds confidence and ignites risk-taking as well as perseverance and resiliency. At the bottom of this video, you will find a link to a slide deck with the full recipe for News Team project-based learning, packed with resources mentioned and more to help guide you and your students. If you have any questions or would like more support in getting a News Team project off the ground with your students, please reach out to the MLTI ambassadors. You can contact me directly at tracy.williamson@maine.gov or visit the MLTI 2.0 website to connect. You can also find a link below to a contact hour form for viewing this video. Thanks for watching.
Fantastic. Well, that does it for us here. Thanks for watching. I'm Sarah Jeskowitz.
And I'm Anna Knoll.
Stay classy, GMS.